So this.
All right. All right. So I told them, I'm sorry, I can't honor this invite because I have already honored an admission, have started my processing and everything. And the professor said, no, do you know how expensive? He asked me this, so I said, NYU. He said, wow. And then later he said, you know how expensive living in NYC is? Come to Louisiana. I will give you this. We can even bargain on the stipend. I will add more. And I said, no, I understand that money is important when it comes to grad school. But at NYU, I need about 76,000 every year. And they have given me 90,000 plus. So I think they have given me more than I need. So, and then the research area, I think I like it. And that's what I want. He said, no, he went to download a certain professor's profile. I said, read this one. You may like this man. We will give you money. Just come. Until now, he's waiting for me to reply to him again. He said I should think about it. Anytime I change my mind, I should contact him. But I have already been set up my visa and I'm going. What I want to tell people is that this is not a one-time journey. It's not a journey you go in and you get. Yes, some people just apply and they get. We have different sources, different directions, and different things. Sometimes you need some experiences, not only for you, but to be able to help other people later on. God will let you go through some hard rocks before you come out with the victory. I'm telling you that before I even got my offer, some of my mentees I have this year came to me that I should help them write their SOP. And I told them, I have received 30 plus rejections. How can I help you? How can you trust me? And they said, oh, please, we know you have not gone yet, but you have a lot of experience looking at how many years you've been trying. So they trusted that my experiences will help them, even though I haven't gotten any yet. So they started sending me their SOPs. And in fact, the SOPs and the CVs they sent to me were trash. They were trash. It didn't say anything about them being serious about grad school. So I sent it back to them and I gave them specific directions to rewrite. And these people did another nonsense thing and sent back to me. So they will send, I will send it back to them. They will send, I will send it back to them. Then one almost gave up because I sent it back to him 7 times. He almost gave up and told me he doesn't know what to do again, so he's stopping. And I told him, no, he should sit down. You do whatever he can, and then I will take over. So they sat down and then wrote out something which was better than all the previous ones. Then I dedicated one night of my sleep and then sat down and revised, reviewed, and rewrote the SOPs for them. As soon as they submitted the SOPs, one received 2 offers and the other received 3 offers, all fully funded.
Mm. Mm.
Whilst I had not yet received anything. That was when before, after that, NYU's and the LSU and other offers came my way. So what that I want to say is sometimes waiting is good. It's very good. It's not just for you. God is giving you some experience, something that's going to be of high importance to you and other people that are going to come into your life sometime to come. So don't joke with this process. Don't give up. Don't give up. Look for the holes. Where is the problem? Why am I not getting it?
Mm.
Is my SOP okay? Where is the problem coming from? Look into those and sit down. It is an individual matter. It's not someone writing it for you. The journey is not easy like that. It's an individual matter. So until you understand what an SOP is, until you understand what a competitive application package is, you need to continue doing the research. And one day you understand why God made you wait.
Mm.
So this is what I want to say. Thank you for
Okay.
giving me the
I mean,
platform.
that's so powerful. I've actually pinned you because I have like follow-up questions I want us to digest before we go to the next aspect of the meeting, right? So I've moved from me sharing my experience, so we are going to use it to also, educate the others. So I want to know how were you able to discover the loopholes in the early applications that you put in?
Okay, so this is what I did. I sat down to read all my SOPs, and then I realized that I want to apply to a PhD, which is directly a research program. And you are going to discover new things. You are going to discover new things and add up new knowledge to the field. So that means I should pose myself as a researcher. I should pose myself as someone who has experience. I should pose myself as someone who is resilient. I should pose myself in my essay as someone who understands what research means. And I realized that was not what I was doing in my previous essays. In my previous essays, it was like I was just writing, I am this, I've gone to this school, I have this GPA, and I did this, and I did that. I was like mentioning all my research experiences, even though I've listed all of them on my resume. I was just listing them again. So my SOP looked like another resume. That is how I saw it. It looked like another resume.
I think there's some kind of highlight I have to do there. So you said
Yeah. It's
your
made a very key point. I agree.
personal statement
Continue.
was like a resume.
Yes.
A second resume. What do you
Yeah.
mean when you talk about that?
Yes. So I thought when I was starting, I thought I should just be mentioning I did this research, I did this research. Because if you take my resume, I will tell you the research I did, the one who supervised it, the result that came and the impact of the result. But they were all just listing. But I wasn't supposed to mention all my research. I was supposed to just take maybe one or two and now explain in detail what was the problem, what was supposed to be done, and what did I do? What was the result? What were the outcome? What are my future expectations around that research that I did? So I had to go detail in explaining what I actually did. And that would demonstrate that I understand what is meant by research.
Great.
Yes, I use a certain method, STAR, STAR. What was the situation? What were you supposed to do? What did you actually do? What were the results? What were the impact? Did you even present at any conference? Any outcome that was useful? So I had to now sit down and communicate my research into a level that any lay person will understand, but without missing the impact and the technical outcomes of the research. So now if you take the...
In fact, Joseph, let's hold on there. I'm coming. I'll come. You follow.
Let's digest it.
Sometimes I always
He's flowing too much.
Guys, wait, please. Kindly mute your microphone so that we get Joseph. So I always keep telling my students, especially when I was teaching at UCC, that every research that we do is supposed to solve a problem, right? So sometimes when you are putting your application to some of these schools and all that, you can basically have like a document, let's say a one-page PDF or two-page PDF talking about your research and its impact on your community, or the participant that you use for that research. And so I'm really, really glad that you mentioned that aspect. And I always tell people that when you're writing the SOP and the personal statement whatsoever, these are some of the things that you can say, because why? These things are not reflecting on your resume or your academic credentials that you are using for your application. I just want to know, tell us how you were able to connect those two, that research and the impact of it in your application.
Okay, let me be specific. Before I even started writing the SOP, I first looked out I wanted my SOP to be research specific, to the point that if you take my SOP, it will look like a research paper that has been published that you are reading. That's how I wanted it. Yeah. So if I give it to you now, you will look at it as if you are reading a published article, but it's just my SOP. So I looked at the faculty profile of NYU Chemical Engineering, and I saw that there are a couple of faculty members who are doing, I want to go into the direction of plastic waste and pollution mitigation. So I saw a professor that is designing catalysts and then chemical reactors to convert plastic waste into lubricating oils and other products that are going to be useful to humans. So I said that And I have also done something already in plastic recycling. So I can connect the dots. So I saw that that was a very strong hold for me instead of just looking at other schools and just trying to veer off. Anyway, this one is a specific direction. It's the same thing with the with the LSU professors. He was going that direction, plastic recycling, this, and that. And my third year custom project was also on that direction. So I said, then I have found a very good spot. So now I started my SOP with research. I did research on plastics. How many plastic wastes are produced in the world every year? How many are recycled? How much end up in the ocean? What are the repercussions? So my introduction was there. From this research, this is the amount of plastic waste produced. So I created a problem from my introduction there. I created a general problem that needs to be solved. Then I linked it to what I have already done in my previous studies about it. And then after saying that general problem, I told them that I have, for about 3 years in undergraduate studies, this is where my work has been surrounded. So I really want to contribute to plastic pollution mitigation in Ghana and the rest of the world. So that is why I want to apply to the NYU's chemical engineering program. So it was specific to a certain direction in a certain research field. Then I came to my work I did in third year. I did it from here. I was supposed to solve this problem, and I did this. These are the methodologies I chose to do it. And I even chose to do this, but unfortunately, because of financial issues and shortage of laboratory equipment or what, I couldn't do. But even so, I chose this particular method to salvage the problem, right? So I told them that I was supposed to, yes, and actually I was supposed to use a certain method, but we didn't have money to buy catalysts. The equipment wasn't ready. So I told them because of that, I couldn't really do this. But then I devised this way after reviewing the literature. And then using that method, I was able to produce something. And I told them some challenges I faced and how I salvaged those challenges to produce something. Yes. So I really went and I told them I got this yield, this percentage yield, this result, it amounted to this. And I even presented my result at a conference, Ghana Science Association's conference. And I told them how I want this research to even go further, to be developed into a state-of-the-art solution to the world's plastic pollution problem. So I only discussed my third year research. I had so many research, but I chose only that one and spoke about it, giving all the time to wait because there is limited amount of words and pages to use. 1 page for that and 1 page for plans, what you are going to use the degree for. And also when it comes to the career plans, I'm telling you, I dedicated a whole paragraph for that. And I gave specific career plans, specificities. I told them I need this degree because this is what I want to do. And after my degree in this maybe I mentioned the year 2025, I want to be here by 2036. I should have finished this and moving to this point by 2037. By this year, I should have become a full professor.
Listen, wait.
Charlie, the speed is too much.
My goodness. You know, wait, like I'm really liking the vibe, I'm liking the vibe.
Sure.
Just let me point some of these things from what you are trying to say. So this is basically, I just want to know, is it a personal statement or a statement of purpose?
Statement of purpose.
Great, SOP. And you started from the research, you started from a problem identification,
yes,
and so far going to your rules, discussing your rules for the PhD, what you are going to do after you get a PhD and all that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So
and I also
this same thing you are talking about is something I have personally published on LinkedIn. People will never read those ones.
Oh.
In fact, Joseph, go ahead and then let's conclude, and I have two more questions to ask you about your
All
experience.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So I really dedicated a portion for my plans, my career plans with the degree that I'm taking from NYU. Yes. And then from there, I also dedicated one paragraph for the kind of research I want to work on. And then the name of the professor I want to work with, and what the professor is actually doing, and why I want to work with him. So you have to dedicate one paragraph, one whole paragraph for that
Correct.
part. It's very important. It's
Why?
very, very important. Yeah, it's very important. One paragraph. What? Talk about your research focus. I want to work in this area on this particular topic under this particular professor, and then you bring out what problem the professor is trying to solve with his research and why you want to contribute to the solution to that problem. The expertise of the professor that you think will be very useful to your academic growth and your professional development. So that is what I did. I never spoke about the facilities the NYU is having. NYU has this facility, blah, blah, blah. I think I saw that to be a cake. Every SOP you take, this school has this facility, it has this sports complex, it has this, that, and I think it's good. I thought professors have been reading all those things and now they don't move them again. So I concentrated that part on the labs, the specific lab that I want to work, the professor and the specific research. I was very specific when it comes to research topic and research direction.
Right.
So those were the basic parts of my statement of purpose. I started with a problem and linked it to what I have been doing previously on the same problem direction. And then I took time to explain my research. And then I explained the specific research direction, mentioning the professor, what he is doing, and how that is going to contribute to my academic and career growth. And finally, took time to explain my career trajectory with the degree that I here with. So that is how I wrote my statement of purpose.
Guys, let's give it up to Joseph. Show some love in popping up. Show some love.
This is very
Wow,
motivating.
that's very powerful, guys.
Oh,
Show some
hey.
love. That's very powerful. Wow.
He has really taught us a new level experience.
See, I always tell you guys that, see, sometimes it's not about what is on the internet. It's not about this is how they do it. It is about you finding your genuine approach to everything. You see, this is basically my first time looking at a research statement of purpose, which actually developed from that level. And I always tell people, we have our genuine stories to give. We have our genuine, experiences. When we are talking about some of these things, I always tell people, come out of the stories people have been given. What is something unique to you, right? So you look at how genuinely he has been able to follow from the introductory paragraph to the body paragraphs to the conclusion, and how all those things are actually fixed together. Like, they're actually connecting with each other. That's very powerful of Joseph's statement of purpose and all that. And we really appreciate you for sharing that. I just want to have like few more follow-up questions because we are actually learning. We know some folks are here to be interviewed and they have questions and all that. We'll be addressing the questions. So Joseph, I just want to find out, talk a little bit about your resume and also the application that you put in and all that. Yeah, talk a bit about your resume. What word for you? Yeah.
All right. So my resume has these sections. You will have your name will come, and then your address. Your address should be specific. And I always tell people, some people really think they don't have a particular local home address, so they will use their university's address on their resumes. And I think that is very wrong. You should have an address that shows specifically where you are coming from, your hometown name, the street, whatever. And then also And then you should have a professional email address.
Please,
You
kindly
should have a
note.
professional email address. I mean, email address like kojotheboy@gmail.com. I think that really doesn't speak good of who you are or the level of seriousness you are.
But in
So
fact,
you should have
hold on.
that.
Even in this meeting, people have joined. Let me mention some names. People have joined
Assembly Suvio, and then Suvio.
with now. In fact, like these are some of the things we need to learn. These are some of the. Imagine you are going to meet a faculty member for, research assistantship, graduate assistantship, graduate teaching assistantship, and your Zoom name is Zoom user. Please, all of you should change all these ones before I command my team to take you out of the meeting. So go ahead, Joseph.
All right, then. And I also have my contact on it, and then my LinkedIn profile. I have built a very strong LinkedIn profile, which I really communicate. I have about 5,000, 6,000 people following me, and yeah, I have a newsletter and all that. So I posted that there in case the person really want to know much about me. That is it. Then I came to my education. My education section is I just have bachelor's, so coming from my university, and my average. And here we use CWA, cumulative weighted average, and most schools in the US don't understand. So after putting that there, I use Scholaro or WES to create an equivalent of that then. And then I stated that Scholaro calculated GPA there so that they will know that, oh, this is the equivalent to it. And then this is where the person got it. Because if you use WES,
This is smart guy, my guy.
Yeah.
You are just so smart. You are so smart, boy.
Super smart.
Go ahead.
Then from there, I have the work experience. The work experience, I made the work experience / teaching experience, but that has been basically my work experience. I take my national service as my work experience because I was a teaching assistant and I've been teaching even after my service. So it is a very important experience for me. So I explained then, I usually write in point. Point one, maybe I taught these particular courses. Point two, I mentored this number of students to achieve this percentage increase in their averages. I don't just talk, I use numbers to show how much impact I was able to produce. So I did all that. Then I came to my research experience. I talk about my final year research. And if you take my resume, you will see a lot of impact measured in numbers. I never wrote, I conducted this research. I produced this amount of results, this percentage of this. I designed a chemical plant capable of producing this percentage of this product, and the plant is worth at a principal of 3.8 million US dollars, provided this amount, this percentage of interest is produced from it. I designed that.
This is something basically you did, right?
Yes, this is exactly what I did. If you take my resume, you will not see I did this work, I did this. You will see impact. I measured this. I produced this percentage of that, this quantity of that. I was able to, even if I'm talking about my leadership and volunteer, I was able to solicit for maybe 28,000 US dollars of funds to fund this project as a sponsorship committee chair. That was what I was as a chemical engineering sponsorship committee chairman. So I measured impact there. And then I have a section for non-degree certificates. I took a number of courses, both in person on Coursera and other platforms. So I list those courses there because those courses are very important. They show that I continuously seek for knowledge and try to build my knowledge gap. So I had a lot of in-person short courses that I was sponsored and others I took on Coursera. So I will list it there and I'll give you the location where I got it, who sponsored it, and the year in which I took those courses. I had that. And then I had a section for my technical and language skills. So I listed, so if you take that under that section, you will see technical skills. And I'll tell you technical skills I have. I can do this, that, FTIR, material characterization skills, and then language skills. So if you take the language skills, It's basically which softwares have I used before. So I have used Microsoft Office Suite, I have used Python, I have used MATLAB, I have done life cycle assessment with Sima Pro and other softwares. So basically, that is how it wasn't really much detailed, but you will see a lot of impact. I was measuring impact rather than telling you I did this and I did that and I did that. So that was on my resume.
Powerful. In fact, if you are not in this meeting, God, my goodness. Look at
And I want to say that
okay.
I built that my mentees, that one got 3 fully funded. He got fully funded from University of Virginia, from Boston University and Edinburgh University, and one got from University of Kentucky, and then one university in Canada. So I built similar resumes for them. I took all their work, their experiences, their research work, and I created similar one for them, and it really worked for them.
You see,
it really worked for them.
It's so good that we are discussing some of these things. I always tell people it's not how huge or the number of pages your resume is or the kind of things you are putting in there, right? I keep saying that everything works. I mean, connecting some of the things you've done. And I like the point where you highlighted you went deep into your experience, especially during your undergraduate studies, to pinpoint some of the work you've done, the research and other things you've done to connect with the faculty member that you're applying for. These are some of the things that we find in there. Joseph, I want to say congratulations. And it's good to also have you on our platform. We are so grateful for God so far, for your life and for your funding and all that. We know we are always giving back to our community. And so we appreciate you for coming into the space to share your experiences with us. I just want you to leave us with your last words to probably whoever is listening to us that is trying to begin this journey, someone who is in the middle, someone who is trying to give up. Any last words that you have for them? Then we'll take our question and answer, and then those who are going for their visa interviews will also try to support them. Yeah.
All right. So thank you. This is what I will say. First, I'll tell the people here that this journey is not a promised journey, but it is won by the people who really want it. Why am I saying this? If you want it, you put in all your best. And one thing I want to tell you that you are not promised. The fact that you sat down, you did not sleep all night and all that, you tried to do this and that, and you still got bounced, should tell you that you are not promised that because you did this, you will get it. Right? So what I want to tell you is it's not a journey that you should be looking for quick results. You should put in. It's a journey that you always have to look for. Where was I wrong? Where do I need to put in my best? What do I need to polish? What do I need to do best? Right? So you don't quit. You never give up. You have to continue it. But next time, anytime you are going in for it again, you are going in stronger as a new person. And I want to tell you, whether your grades are 3.5, 3.3, 3.2, 3.0, they don't really matter. Because at the top there, your grades won't matter anymore, especially if you're going for a PhD. Your grades won't say anything. What says things about you is your research, how you do the research, how you bring out results, and how you communicate it. So put in all your best. Craft your resumes well and craft the SOP well. Put in all your best. And don't compare yourself to others. Never say, this person did it once and it worked. I did it, it didn't work, so I'm giving up. That's why I posted here that giving up is a taboo. Whatever that you are going through is very good for you, but you don't know. Because you may get some offer today, which is only maybe half funded or partial funded, and you are now going to look for other sources of money to solve it. But if it takes you 2 years, 3 years to do the right thing and get fully funded and even get so much money in surplus to support your life, I think it's better than getting half funded or partially funded and you are not going to struggle to cater for the rent. So I think that is all I have to tell you. Don't give up, put in your best, and don't compare yourself to anybody. Just focus on it Do it your way, a very special way that works for you, and you will see very tremendous results. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Show some love with some reactions. On Zoom we have some reactions there. Just show some love for our brother. Such a positive, conversations we've had with him today. Yeah. So I will leave the platform for people who have questions. If you do have any question, kindly go ahead and ask your question if you have any question. Just
Oh, please, can I make my comment before the question comes?
No. I'm moderating it. So wait.
Oh, no, because of what he said, there are one or two things I want to add up. That's why.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so I think I typed. So he said that he chose his third year project over his final year project. In chemical engineering, you do a third year project and a final year project, but he chose it because of the kind of work the professors were doing. So he just tells us, all of us, that when you are making, you might have done a lot of things, but what you put on your SOP, as I said, there shouldn't be a repetition of your academics, your CV. Be quite intentional, because normally it's your final year project in chemical engineering that is the greater one. But for him to choose the third year means that he understood what he was doing, and he wanted to connect to the researches of the professors, and that is what was his breaking point. So to everyone as well, try and find something. As I said, you might even have gone for a conference or gone for presented something there. That might be your catch, your selling point. Pick that one and highlight it very well in your SOP, and that's what might be what will break through for you as well. So I think that's something I want to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Raymond, for your contribution as well. So the platform is open for questions, but please raise up your hand. Your name will be called, and then you go ahead with your question. So the first is Vectus. Vectus, go ahead. Vectus.
Yes, thank you. Mine is not related to the presentation,
Okay.
but yes, but thanks to him for giving us the insight and all that. Yes. My brother is Delasi, and yes, and I applied to Georgia
Are
State
you
University
are you
for
the one I know? The
yes,
gerontology, right?
yes,
Great. You also
yes.
no, I love it. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, and so I had the admission with graduate assistantship offer. So I want to, right now I'm a bit not confused, but I don't know what to do next. Like
Oh, okay. So
I'm overwhelmed. So I want to know what to do.
okay. So if I get a question, I know you have the offer. So you are a bit confused as to the next steps, right? So
Yes.
after you have a graduate assistantship offer, you would some schools would actually follow up with an email from the International Programs Office or the International Student Services Office requesting you to put in your application for your I-20. Now, what
Yes.
happens is that some of them will actually ask you to make deposits, or an enrollment fee, depending on the school or the institution that you are going. And so after that, they will create an account for you with maybe the student ID or the email, and then you go ahead to upload your financials. So if you have a deficit from the school, which is maybe you have an offer, but you have a deficit of, let's say, 7K, 10K dollars or whatsoever, you then go ahead and upload financial statements about the one going to support you. That one you can download it from the school's website. You fill that information with the person who is going to support you. The person will sign it as well. Some schools, you, the applicant, will also sign. And then you attach the person's bank statement that the person is using to sponsor you or the company. You upload it onto the platform, and then you wait for the school to issue your I-20. Now, after the I-20, you just have to, even before that, you can still look into getting your visa application documents and other things you'll be using to apply. And so you go on the Avid website, which is the new portal now for the Accra Embassy, or also the embassy that you are using, depending on whichever location you are. And then you create an account. You create an account on the portal with the information that is required. I think your bank's your passport details and all that. And I always tell people to make sure that the information they are putting in there correlates with what they have on their passport and other things. So you create the account, you go to is it GT Bank to make the payment for the visa application. You fill your DS-160 as well, and then you let someone read and review for you before you submit all those documents, because you need to be very sure that the information you are putting in there is very accurate and is not going to affect your visa application. And then you just, book the appointment with your I-20 details, which has the service, the service, let me say it that way, the service ID and other things. And then you join mock sessions that we do hold for people. You prepare yourself for your visa interview. Yeah, that's it. But whilst you prepare all these ones, you can also be working towards your plane ticket. Yeah, you can be working towards. And also,
okay, so Pastor, please let me come in. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you. For my brother, right? So what's the problem now is the bank statement. Do you get it? So he wanted to know. He saw an advertisement